It's a power alphas. You guys make sure to subscribe right now if you want to become an alpha gamer and join the gameplay revolution, join the natural gameplay movement. Become an alpha gamer right now. Hit the subscribe button. Start taking in the content. Start winning. Okay, follow me on Twitter. Join my new Discord for Alpha Gaming. Also join my Patreon Discord, which I'm making public right now. It's the link is in the info. I'm watching this Melee tournament, and there's no one on stream right now. Maybe we get some friendlies soon. I can criticize these guys because I'm watching these friendlies, and these guys are not tryharding. They're wasting their time at the biggest Smash tournament of all time, $150,000 prize pool, and they're not tryharding. They're literally wasting their time. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. How are you the biggest Smash tournament of all time, and you're goofing off with your friends playing friendlies the night before? Ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. Alright guys, let's really get into this video, but before that, I want to show you something on Discord. These guys are just trolling me. I said I'm starting to make salads lately. Healthy eating, alpha eating. I said I put in a little bit of alpha gaming in my salad. And this troller in the Discord says, are you jizzing it or have a guy died? Get out of here, dude. Actually go home, dude. Stop trolling, go home. You're never going to alpha game if you don't get up and you get out there and try. And that's the theme of this video, gamers. And why I'm watching this Smash tournament and I'm repulsed. I'm offended, honestly, that people think they're acceptable, baseline acceptable at a game, and you're not tryharding before the biggest tournament of all time of your life. Ridiculous. Absolutely ludicrous. What's the number one way you're stuck in a rut? Any gamer can do this, doesn't matter your skill. You're stuck in a rut, even if you're winning. Let's say you're winning. I mean, you can be second right, you can be winning hard, easy. What's the easiest thing you can do to improve? Try hard. Just make an effort. Why? Because making an effort, tryharding, filters out gameplay. It filters out bad gameplay. It filters out mistakes. So what happens is you make the mistakes. You make bad gameplay, but when you try hard, you care. When you try, you care, and you lose, right? Well, the bad gameplay and the losing and the mistakes, that's a part of your core gameplay. That's part of your understanding, right? So when you go into a game and you try and then you make a mistake, you're like, oh, that was bad. I can't do that anymore. The more you care, the more you're going to get that reaction where you're like, I can't do that anymore. That was bad. I cannot do that. The more you try. So in a tournament, it's like in a high-level tournament, high-stakes tournament, this is kind of easy mode because you're going to default try. In a friendly, I'll admit, it's harder to try hard in a friendly. But you need to make an effort to try, right? You got to make that initial effort. I see people go into tournaments and they don't try, it becomes a problem, right? So it is up to you. You do gotta try these tournaments. So when I see these people in the high stakes tournaments and they don't try, it's just a joke. Guys, how did Bobby Fischer get so good at chess? Really think about it. Think about chess. Chess is a game, hold up. Chess is a game where there's nothing you can do to get better at the game mechanically, right? There's no mechanical improvement to the game. What can you do to get better at chess, right? You can focus. You can pay attention to the game. You can focus, right? You can improve how much you focus. Think about it. If you focus more on chess, you're going to make more of an effort. You're going to try harder. You're going to remember more positions. You're going to make more effort to not blunder. If you do blunder, you're going to try to get back in there. Because there's this interesting thing about chess. And I think chess, it plays exactly like a video game. The thing about chess is it's a pretty tight system. So if you make a play and you blunder and an opponent takes your piece, a lot of times you actually have board position. Because their pieces get kind of strangled. Because it's not always the case, but actually quite frequently it's the case. Well, if you have a clutch mindset, and how to get a clutch mindset, you just try. You're just not giving up when stuff gets kind of hard. That's all you need for a clutch mindset, gamers. You can actually pull out through a lot of these games. And guess what, gamers? If you know anything about anxiety and the mental part of gaming, and I mean the actual mental part of gaming, not these clowns online who say gameplay's all mentality. They go home, they practice multi-shiny for 12 hours. They go into a tournament and they basically get high beforehand and then they don't try hard. And these are the guys that say gameplay's all mentality. You're practicing multi-shiny, that's not mentality at all. You get high before gaming the game because you're nervous. Well, that's not practicing your mental game. That's not mentality. That's not what are these guys doing? These are clowns. This is terrible advice that's pervasive in the Smash community. It's just ridiculous. My point is, There's an actual part of the mental game in gaming. If an opponent gets an easy win on you, their brain is less focused on the game. You can take advantage of that. So when you actually make an effort, that's how you get in the clutch factory. But let's go back to this. Let's go back to my main point of this video, which is you need to try harder way more often. If you can't try hard 24/7 like me, and you can't be an alpha gamer like me at the highest level, that's fine. If you're trying your best to try hard, you're doing, in my opinion, you're doing a good job because you're going to get better at that long term. If you understand the importance of tryharding, guess what? That's what matters because you're going to get better at it. And as you develop, as you play, you're going to start losing and realize I need to try harder. And then you're going to make more of an effort to try harder. So it's going to build long term. When you never try and you demonize trying and you go into these high-end tournaments and you goof around with your friends because it's socially acceptable, you don't be a weirdo, something's wrong. I feel like something's really wrong. So check this out. When I've been playing Smash since 2005, competitively. And very early on, people try hard at friendlies because they want to beat their friends and they want to look really good. They want to look like they're really great and they want to beat their friends. This is the wrong thing to aim for. That's not, first of all, it's poor sportsmanship, okay? That's bad. Number two, this has no value. Beating your friends in friendlies is completely worthless. Winning in friendlies, performing well in friendlies is completely worthless. It does absolutely nothing. I would even argue performing in tournaments 95 to 99% of the time is completely worthless. If you go into a tournament, a local, a national, a state level tournament, doesn't like pretty much any tournament, even compared to the free tournament, and you place 13th, you place 9th, and you place 25th. All of those, because that's still like your average player that's like competitive in the tournament. None of those results have any. There's no difference between any of those results. I mean, there's no difference. This has no value. Like, why? What is the difference between placing 19th, 13th, and 9th at a tournament? It's totally irrelevant. And I'm extending this point, just saying it does not matter your placements at any tournament. It's completely worthless until we get to high-end tournaments. Until there's money involved, until we get to your end game of your career, where you start winning tournaments, you start making money, you start getting good at the game, and now they actually matter. This is why gameplay is cool, because your ego's at play. We're going to talk about ego a little bit here, because why are these like moronic noobs trying to beat their friends in a friendly? Which infuriates me when they try to do that, because you're not really tryharding. You're trying to like beat your friends and like, yeah, yes, I beat my friend. Wow, I beat my good friend in a friendly. Yes, and he wasn't trying. Yes. I feel so good about myself. No, come on. It's just stupid. That's just dumb. The point is not to beat your friends and like satisfy your ego and like, because when people do that, they like think they're really good at the game and like, oh yeah, this is gonna translate to a tournament. Guys, if you play against a player who's better than you and you beat him in a friendly, 99% of the time he's not trying and he doesn't care. And then you go into a tournament and he bodies you. Because guess what? You learned nothing. You learned absolutely nothing from performance. Performance does not equate to skill. Performance does not equate to game leveling up your gameplay, right? Why would performing better in a game make you better at the game? I mean, someone explain that to me, because that's a very important point, because it seems to be like 99.99% of players are trying to perform well. If you watch players and they get mad because they keep missing tech skill, that's what they're trying to perform well. They're trying to perform well their tech skill. And they don't perform well their tech skill, they're angry. Why are they trying to perform well the tech skill? That doesn't make any sense. That's actually backwards. Because gameplay is a function, we know this, in a function, you have input and you have output. Output is what's happening. Input is how you get to what's happening. Right? Input changes the function. Output is the visual of the function, right? Output is what the function looks like. So, when you go into a tournament and you totally bought your tech skill, that's your output. You don't control that. What that means is your input's all messed up, you gotta change the input. You gotta change the input, because the output's totally out of whack. Output's out of whack. So why are you mad? Why would the enemy be mad about that? That's dumb. Now maybe you're mad because you're like, wow, I totally prepared wrong in the past, I don't know, 1 month to 10 years of playing the game. I completely prepared wrong, and I'm going to lose this tournament. Maybe that's why they're mad. But I don't think that's why they're mad. They're mad because they're like, wow, I need to get these wave dashes. I need to get my wave dash consistency up 10%, right? Therefore, I'm going to be a better player. No, you're looking at results. You're looking at output. Output doesn't matter. I mean, results have no value. Absolutely no value. So, another bad mentality behavior that Smash players had that you need to change. Look, if you're trying to win at Smash and you're trying to get better at Smash, do these two things and you'll get better. I don't care your game and your skill level. Start trying more and be more critically. Think more critically about how you're trying more. Again, if you're trying to beat your friends and you're just like, yeah, that's sick. I mean, I actually think you're going to become a better player long term than if you're just like one of these like no tryhard players. I don't think it's a good idea though. You know, you can have good sportsmanship and try hard, right? In fact, I think the best place to try hard, honestly, net play, because there's no one-on-one personality thing. But I would really this is a good conversation we'll have in the future, because when it comes down to bracket, it doesn't matter how much you camp or how much you play, low-key BM. It does not matter. In friendlies, I'm honestly against playing BM, but maybe that's me. Maybe that's something we should reevaluate as a community. I once played a guy in friendlies, and he was wobbling me in friendlies, and I literally unplugged my controller in the match, and I just walked away and played a different guy. Because it was just a waste of my time. Like, this is stupid. It's boring. It's uninteresting. So I have mixed emotions about that. But man, good thing wobbling is banned. That shit would suck, dude. Like, I don't know what anyone is thinking. But anyway, the second thing you do, number one, you gotta try harder. You gotta try harder and think more critically about the gameplay. The second thing you can do to instantly improve your gameplay in Smash is to radically simplify your gameplay. This is going to massively help you out, and the reason it's going to help you out is because when you try hard, you can filter out the bad gameplay. That's kind of the point. When you try hard and you fail, and you're like, "Wow, this doesn't work anymore," you can get rid of it, and you acknowledge that it doesn't work, right? Because when you don't try hard, you can't acknowledge that something doesn't work. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. I think in friendlies, when somebody is not tryharding, there's no punishment. See, it's hard to acknowledge. So and I know this works because I speedran for 8 years. Like, I played Link to the Past competitively for 8 years, and the first 4 years I wasn't that tryhard. I would listen to music and I would talk to chat. The back end of the 4 years, I really changed my mindset around, and I stopped listening to music. I stopped talking with chat. I really started focusing every single run, and really started tryharding every single run from the start of the run. And I noticed a serious improvement in my gameplay and in my ability to try hard. And I did it every single day. So if I could do that in a speedrun literally every single day, why can't people in friendlies do that every single day? I don't understand that. Unless I'm some anomaly, and I mean, no, that's not what's going on. Anyway, the second key ingredient here is to radically reduce your gameplay, simplify your gameplay, and reduce your gameplay. Why? Because we're getting to a point where it's easy to filter out bad stuff, and it's easy to introduce new stuff that's good. And if you try hard, you can quickly learn what's good and what's bad. And you're gonna I want you guys to, especially at the lower and mid level, reshape the gameplay, especially people like SFAT who have very unnatural gameplay and very chaotic gameplay. I don't think Armada really needs to naturalize his gameplay more because it's already incredibly natural, but he's winning. I mean, it's like people like SFAT who lose all the time and the gameplay is just totally all over the place. Their gameplay needs to be naturalized. And in order to naturalize his gameplay, one thing SFAT needs to do absolutely is understand. Well, he needs to understand how natural gameplay works. But he needs to start reducing the gameplay, really simplifying and reducing the gameplay. And he tries very hard, which I think he kind of has it on lockdown. But if SFAT is able to reduce his gameplay and actually pay more attention to bad gameplay and get rid of the bad gameplay, and so when you go to a friendly event or a tournament or money match or whatever. You go into a money match and you go into a friendly and you do something that's not natural, it's not reliable, it's not simplified, it's out of your control, kind of. It's too out of your control. And you do that, and it's punishing, and you're tryharding, you're gonna recognize that this is not good, and I need to get rid of it, or I need a different option here, right? And again, we're getting away from like, oh, I need to edge guard, and I need to get my edge guard success ratio up, and if I edge guard this my opponent right now, it means I can do it in the future. It means I'm good at the game. No, that's all result based. Like, stop doing that. Start thinking input based. Start thinking about an input adapter gamer. So, your SFAT, you just reduced your gameplay considerably simplified and reduced your gameplay, right? You get rid of bad habits. You're starting to also look at your approach options. You go from like 100 million approach options and just kind of play in the field, and you're starting to look at specific high quality approach options. And you're like, wow, I have like 6 high quality approach options, right? Or I have 10. Let's say you have 10 high quality or common approach options, right? This is your gameplay. And I mean, I would argue one of these approach options could just be digging around and waiting for the opponent to approach. And you'll see Falcos do that, because I made Falco. You'll see Falcos do that, and they do these Waveland games on the platforms. Westballs does this a lot. This is what I'm talking about, simplifying your gameplay. That's bad. Stop doing that. You're doing these stupid Waveland, like, tech skill show-off stuff in the middle of a serious match, tournament match, a friendly, a money match. Stop doing that. Like, see, you don't have to like be a BMer and like an annoying player to play against. That's my point with the guy who's wobbling. Why is that guy tryharding? Is that guy really tryharding? He's just wobbling me in a friendly. No, it sounds like he's just trying to beat me in a friendly to like make himself feel better about himself. Even though I'd smash him in a tournament easily, and it's just wasting my time too. Like I'm literally just sitting there for like a minute while this guy fucking wobbles me in a friendly. It's pointless, right? And then he does all these bad, terrible behaviors, and I'm just like embarrassed. No, when you're Westballs and you're doing these stupid Waveland options in a friendly, that's not tryharding. And he'll win the friendly, and it's like justifiable. That you're conflating results here with input. First of all, winning the friendly is irrelevant. Second of all, doing these Waveland options is bad. That's effectively an approach option, right? But think about it. It's not very recreatable. It doesn't really have any real function or purpose. And you see people like Westballs, much recently SFAT, constantly beefing tournaments, constantly SDing, constantly failing in clutch situations. Why? Because their gameplay is not natural. It's not recreatable. It's not reliable. It's not specific and direct and has a purpose. They haven't filtered out any of the bad gameplay. Of course they're choking. Of course they're failing. Of course their results are terribly inconsistent. And they're all over the place. I mean, Westballs is not even relevant anymore. And good on them, because you deserve to fail if you have bad gameplay, you never address it, and you have a high ego. Frankly, that's just the reality of it. Any gamer will tell you that. Absolutely any gamer. I can't believe Smashers are so cocky. Mid-level Smashers, mid-high-level Smashers are cocky because they think they're like relevant in gameplay in the grand scheme of things. But it's like they don't realize there's like millions of league players that are better than them. I mean, just regular employees, like literally, like I hate to call it Ginger. I mean, call them all my Falco brothers. I love Falco, by the way. I love all Falco players. I aggressively watch them. Ginger is a player who's like, Ginger, look, I watched your friendlies, or I watched your tournament earlier. Stop doing the pointless wave landing in the middle of the tournament. Or in the middle of a match. Like, you kill the enemy and they start wave landing for no reason. Stop doing that. It's a bad option. You're not tryharding when you're doing that. You're literally goofing off, dude. Stop doing that. And it's not like sitting there is not a better option, I would argue a lot of times. And that's why these people do this. This like cool movement. First of all, you're building habits that have no value, no function. And this is the point of simplifying the gameplay. Because we don't even know if goofing off and running in circles after you kill the opponent has any value. Is that a good thing? I'm not sure. But if you simplify your gameplay, guess what? It's easy to do. It's easy to introduce new things, especially if you keep everything simplified. It's the simplest possible option. It's easy to introduce new things. It's easy to get rid of things, right? Because you can do everything. You can do everything you're looking at. So let's say you simplify everything and you lose to the opponent, and you know you can beat him. Guess what? Your gameplay is not. You need more. You need to learn something more. You need more, right? Well, actually, let's say you simplify everything. I don't know if you know you can beat him, and you simplify everything. Maybe you do something wrong. You're doing what I'm telling you wrong. How about this? You simplify everything and you lose your opponent. You need more, right? You need to learn more something. Maybe you might need something that's risky, like ledge dashing is an example of something that's risky, but it levels your gameplay up a lot. So at a high level, you kind of need to know how to ledge dash, right? Do you see it? So at some point, you have to implement that. But you don't just implement it. You don't just do it 100 times in a row. You're like, wow, I have 100% consistency. I'm going to do this tournament. And then you suicide last stock in the game 5. Which happens all the time. Why does it happen? Because the players that do that, they're using results to determine how they can play the game. Right? And their results are, first of all, in their brain, their ego is completely taken over and they think they're really good at it. Their fail ratio is actually very high, especially when you factor game 5 and you're like super nervous and it's hard to focus. Yeah, of course you're gonna fail it, like because your failure ratio is really high. Like, give me a break, dude. When you learn how to wave dash on an input based level, and you're game 5 last stock, you don't wave dash. First of all, your gameplay is really simplified, so you actually have prepared options. That's part of the thing that's so good about simplifying your gameplay. You're not gonna get better next game. Who gives a crap about that? You're going to get better a year from now, 2 years from now. You're actually going to see improvement. Because when you simplify everything, you can filter out the bad stuff. It's radically easy to filter out the bad stuff. It's easy to implement new stuff. And you figure out what actually matters and what doesn't matter. And I'm talking about every single detail. I'm talking about every input. How you do the inputs. How you do the offensive options. How you do the defensive options. Literally, you know the wavelengthing thing? Why I came up with that? Because if you get rid of the wavelengthing stuff, which is obviously not natural, it's not useful. If you get rid of that, you're a better player instantly. You're actually a better player. Your gameplay floor has leveled up marginally. I mean, just barely marginally. This is how I play Link to the Past. I'm constantly improving things and changing things in Link to the Past. Why? Because I know the result doesn't matter. I know today doesn't matter. No months done doesn't matter. What matters is if I can raise that floor a frame. How many things in Link to the Past I found that save 1 to 5 frames? Probably like 200 or 300, right? Which it adds up, but I find something that's a frame, and it's a frame faster. And I'm like, well, I'm actually a better player. If I do this, I'm literally a better player. And so I started doing it, because it's recreatable, right? Because my gameplay is super simplified. And so I'm instantly a better player. It's like, wow, wait a minute. And then do that for like 3 years straight. You become incredible at the game. You become very consistent. You become totally in control. Because your gameplay is highly recreatable. And everything you do, you know the purpose of, you know why it's good, you know when not to do it. Like you're in control here, right? Imagine instead of ledge dashing because everyone else does it and you think you're good at it. Imagine if you did ledge dashing because you knew exactly why to do it, you knew exactly when to do it, you knew what it was good against, you knew the weaknesses of it, and you knew your limits of it. And you go into game 5 in a clutch situation, do you think you're going to just beef it every single run, every single attempt? Do you think you're going to keep SDing? No, you're going to be like Mango. You're going to be like Armada. You're going to be like Leffen. What does Mango do in a lot of these situations? He just doesn't ledge dash. Because he knows it's not natural. It's not good. That's why he never shield dropped. Because he was unnatural. It's a bad option. It's also why he never ledge dash. Or when he does ledge dash, he does the really slow ledge dashes. It's not natural. The thing is, the gameplay, the relative game skill is improving. And what Mango realizes is like, at some point, it's actually more valuable to learn how to ledge dash and fail it occasionally. It actually is more valuable because the opponents are getting better. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute, what happened here? What actually happened here? Mango's gameplay, which is very simplified, was forced to implement something new. He was forced to implement something new. And so when he implemented something new, he had to actually properly learn it. That's all you need to do, guys. It's not that hard. Just simplify your gameplay, start tryharding, and then filter out the bad stuff. Slowly level the gameplay up. Okay, it's not that hard to do. Give me some questions on it. I know you guys have questions on this stuff. A 22-minute video is not going to explain 2 years of development. 2 years of growth, years of research on my end, years of improvements on my end, thousands of ideas. I mean, thousands of hours of ideas and philosophy. Context, too. I mean, a 22-minute video doesn't have context, or 25-minute video. There's no context, though. There's little context. So, ask me questions, give me ideas. I'm going to keep making videos on this stuff because I'm tired of seeing players, speedrunners, and smashers, because that's what I am, a speedrunner and smasher. I'm tired of seeing them not understand gameplay development. I'm tired of seeing them not understand how to fix your ego, overcome your ego, understand what ego is. The Ginger thing, look, Ginger, I watched your match against, it was Ginger versus some floaty, and he got bodied. And on game 3, he started defaulting and just doing like random tech skill. Because this is another reason if you want to try hard in Melee, stop doing random tech skill. Because guess what happens when you get nervous and your brain kind of shuts down and you get really anxious and your brain shuts down, you autopilot, and guess what? You start autopiloting random tech skill that has no function or no purpose or no value. I mean, stop doing that. That's why when you try hard, you actually want to start looking at your gameplay and like really critically thinking about your gameplay and look at your gameplay and be like, this pointless tech skill's not good. But spending like 30 hours to learn how to multi-shine and then trying to do it in friendlies for fun is an absolutely horrible idea. It's actually making you worse at the game. Like, I had this idea that Melee skill levels, it's not that, it's skill tiers and skill levels in Melee, it's not that deep. People think it's like really, really deep, which I think it is actually pretty deep, but it's not as deep as people think it is. It's just that it's really hard to quantify what's good and bad, because in Melee, if you run away from the opponent, if you run towards the opponent, there's no like, what